I think we're ready to get going with Rabi-Ribi with VGM. So VGM, take it away.
Opa, já temos aí a tela
Hello everyone, this is
do Rabi-Ribi.
Casual 10 town members. Hopefully I can present a good run to everyone. A bit nervous, but I think things will go quite well.
O cara tá meio nervosinho aí, mas espera trazer uma boa run aí.
Should I go on ahead and get started? So I'm gonna get a countdown.
Fazendo a countdown, contagem, né?
5,
Em 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
1.
E contagem iniciada aí.
Yo, good luck, dude.
Run começada. Run iniciada.
Hello, we're here too.
So, the game has started. There's not much going on in the prologue, just, you know, movement towards the first set of prologue bosses.
Fazendo aí uma
Guess we'll introduce
movimentação,
ourselves.
né?
My name is Hakua.
Não tem nada de muito especial.
I am Mikan. This game is awesome. You're gonna see at the start here a lot of hopping as bunnies do as
o pessoal falando que você vai ver bastante hopping, né? Bastante dessa movimentação, né? Pra cima e pra baixo.
Rooms and
Desses
exploring a
pulos.
lot of different areas you're gonna travel to, pick up a bunch of items and stuff. We might not be doing a lot of the item picking up though. We'll explain that in a little bit. But yeah, our movement options right now are just a little bit limited. We have the obviously named Bunny Hop as VGM.
Eles falam que a movimentação deles ainda é um pouquinho limitada, né? Só tem aí o Bunny Hop.
There's a bit of a cool combat tech in this game that
E aí ele colocando o boss aí do prólogo pra poder derrotar rapidamente e ganhar a Carrot Bomb.
almost double damage. So, at least for most boss fights, you're gonna try to reverse the swing of your hammer so that the second and third hits are the reverse hit, so-called, so to speak.
Ele falando que em alguns bosses eles vão tentar fazer um reverse hit, né? Que é dar um dano no lado contrário, né? No caso da segunda ou terceiro hit, pra alocar o inimigo. Vocês podem ver ali, ó, aquela...
Here's our second boss of the prologue, Ribbon, who's hopefully going to play nice here.
Fazendo aí o reverse hit e já passou aí pelo segundo boss do prólogo.
Nice skill. Didn't get the zip, but nice. Yeah, so Ribbon is the second title character in the name of the game, Rabi-Ribi. Ribi is short for Ribbon. And Ribbon's going to be the fairy companion who acts as a...
Ele falando que a Ribbon, né, a segunda personagem aí, que a Ribi é um apelido para Ribbon, né?
There is EXP in this game where you can gain levels on the hammer and Ribbon, but it's not the main focus. It's not an RPG in any sense. You'll reach the cap of the levels for both the hammer and the charge shot, among other weapons / items that you pick up pretty quickly.
Yeah, you'll see the kind of obtrusive messages that pop up that you've leveled up for a good couple minutes still, but eventually they will kind of taper off here. So VGM is just kind of traveling through the rest of the prologue, heading
I guess I'll do a quick recap of like the story of the game.
Oh, dude, I love the story of this
Ele
game.
vai dar aí
So
uma recapitulação da
who
história.
is the bunny girl in this equation, the Rabi part of Rabi-Ribi. She wakes up to find that she has been transformed into a human.
Ela falando que o Rabbit, né, que é a outra parte aí da outra personagem, ela tava dormindo aí e do nada acordou como uma humana.
She's done. Ashley
She's
is one
pretty-
of the
Acho que é basicamente isso.
notorious bosses in Prologue because she's RNG and she has a very high priority in her attacks, so she can escape combos very easily. But that went really well.
Yeah, it is going. We should probably note that we are playing on the casual difficulty because we're a bunch of casual players. No, that's the lowest difficulty and obviously the fastest.
Eles estão falando que eles estão jogando na dificuldade casual, né, que é feita para jogadores casuais.
There's a bit of,
E
like,
a
background
categoria
to the
mais
casual thing, but
rápida,
a lot
né,
of people might
dada a
be
dificuldade
saying,
do
like, no, these guys
ser mais
just play
rápida
on
mesmo,
easy
né?
'cause it's the easy way out.
Quanto menor a
Don't have
dificuldade,
to,
mais
like, learn too
rápida
much stuff, but believe it or not, like it's
a run é.
surprisingly like even more technical on casual because the movement gets a much higher priority first
E
of
ele
all.
falando que no
And then
casual é
secondly,
bem a prioridade
the
de movimento
bosses,
ela é
the way
bem
they work
alta,
in
né?
this game is that when they get
Então você
low
quer ter
enough
uma
health, they
precisão
perform different attack patterns.
de movimento muito
And
boa.
given that it's casual difficulty, this becomes super important. And so the combat gets pretty complicated in casual, at least for the speedrun sense. Obviously, like the game is easier casually on casual.
Yeah, you might not see it much in this run, but the bosses in this game are actually really likened to bullet hell bosses, such
É,
as
ele
like
tá falando aí
Toho
que a gente
games
não
or
vai ver muito na
things like
run,
that.
mas
Their
os
attacks are
bosses eles
quite
tendem a
varied.
ser
Each of
bem
the bosses
bullet
has
hell.
quite a bit of attacks.
Então como você... ele acabou
But
errando ali, né? Vai
you're
tendo que
hopefully not
fazer a
going to see
fight
too
do
many of them.
zero.
What you might see, hopefully not too much though, is that at almost every major intersection in this game, there's going to be an autosave, and if there's one before every boss.
É, ele falando que
And
toda
if something
interseção
happens at
maior
the start of
aí,
the boss
ele
fight that
tem
doesn't
o jogo
quite
tem
go
um
VGM's
autosave,
way, he's
né?
going to be
Então
resetting.
geralmente
You're
tem
going to see like
um autosave
the
antes
pause
dos
screen
bosses.
flash for a
Então
second
caso
as
ele
he
erre, ele vai
teleported backwards a little bit. That's
aproveitar
him
desse autosave
reloading
pra
a
fazer do
quick
zero,
save
né?
to give
Pra
it another shot.
refazer a
Hopefully
fight.
things go, better the second time.
I have to say, the quick saving feature in Rabi-Ribi is insanely useful just
E
for like
você vê que
practicing
ele
and
usa
everything.
bastante
Like, not many games
desses
have like an
cantos, né, da
instant
parede,
reload before a
pra
boss
ter
fight.
bunny hop
I
bem
feel like that's like super helpful for practicing.
maior, né? Ter
So
uma
we're
propulsão
traveling through the snow.
bem
Yeah, we're traveling through the snow
mais
here. So after the
bem
prologue
maior,
kind
né, no
of
caso.
ends and Irina, nice jump. Irina gets back to town, I suppose, because she wasn't in town before. You kind of get your main quest of the game, which is you're running around and you're beating up people and you're convincing them to go back to town with you to help do some magic stuff. And that's kind of where the category name 10 Town Members comes from. 10 is the bare minimum you need in order to start the final sequence of events.
É, eles estão explicando da categoria, né, que o 10 Town Members você precisa salvar aí 10 cidadãos, né, para eles voltarem para a cidade e fazer, né, coisas médicas e tudo, né. E eles falando que precisam de no mínimo 10 para poder ativar a sequência, né, a sequência final, né, final da run. Então por isso que a categoria ela se chama 10 Town Members. E o casual porque é na dificuldade casual.
Both very important items.
Yeah, she's definitely a key boss to take out just because of how much she unlocks. So we're getting into a little chapter transition boss here. You're gonna fight kind of a shadow arena, which actually doesn't have a whole lot of health, but does a whole lot of damage if she hits you, so don't get hit. And then you get automatically teleported to this riverbank area, which we are going to the laboratory, like Aqua just explained earlier.
One thing I'm going to explain is what you alluded to earlier about not picking up very many items. Rabi-Ribi has a very interesting mechanic called low item percent. And it doesn't necessarily mean lowest possible, it just means under 10% item collection.
Falando que tem uma categoria interessante, né, que é a low item percent, que é você ter menos de 10% aí de itens, né.
Low item percent text in the top left. And so that means you're in low item percent mode, which is just under 10%. And in this mode, you're basically a glass cannon. Enemies will do a ton of damage.
Ele falando que nessa categoria os inimigos eles dão muito dano em você, porque você não tem muito dano, não tem muito item.
More or less is the gist of it. So in this category, we're collecting the bare minimum items. So all the badges, all the health ups, mana ups.
Eles falam que nessa categoria eles pegam o mínimo possível, né, de insígnia, de
Yeah, you stay under 10% for
tudo
the entire
possível.
run, is that right?
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay. Just for a quick reference, these lasers that VGM's kind of face tanking through, that they're dealing 15 damage. I think once you hit 10% items, they
Eles falam que esses lasers eles dão
it's
15
really significant,
de
and
dano, né.
that's just, hazards. Not even to talk about how much bosses.
Dude, those lasers do so much damage.
Eles falam que dão muito dano.
There's a section later where the lasers like pretty much instant kill you.
Eles falam que tem uma seção de lasers mais pra frente que vai instantaneamente te matar. Então
this becomes the new fastest method of traveling, slide jumping.
and as much
Aí
nicer
agora
on
eles
the
conseguiram
fingers,
aí
if I do say so.
Tô fazendo um
It's
slide
definitely
jump,
much
né?
more
Que é
annoying to
pouco mais
travel
rápido.
in the speedrun though, because
Você ela dá
the
tipo um
slide actually like
dashzinho e dá
bonks off of like
bunny hops, né?
obstacles and enemies,
Yeah.
which can make it very clunky to travel with, but less mashing the A button, I suppose, slightly.
And we do need to pick up this sliding pattern to get the best form of movement, which is coming up in just a little bit, I guess.
Okay, I wasn't sure which
Tem
route
mais
you were
um
gonna
boss aí
do
pra
here.
fazer.
Oh wait, no. Yeah,
Split
I
lap.
think
Ele já passou.
it's a split
Bem
lap. Okay,
rápido,
okay.
né? Se vocês podem ver.
Yeah, so there's two routes here where you can either finish the rest of Exotic Lab, or you can split it in two. Splitting it in two is harder, but if done well, it'll save like 3 to 5 seconds. But it's basically about even.
So VGM just picked up the Rabi slippers, which is kind of like a high jump. You get a couple more tiles of height.
É, ele falou que pegou aí
You might be wondering, well, why didn't
uma
he was
feature
right next to it
que
earlier.
faz
I'll describe it then, and that
a
was part of the
Ribi pular mais alto,
we
né?
talked about bosses
Então
getting
ela
the
consegue
extreme
alcançar lugares mais.
changing in the damage
Você
tables at
precisaria
10%, but
desse
every percent until then also counts.
dessa feature, né?
So waiting until you can pick stuff up is extremely beneficial. And recruiting town members, you can see we have currently 2 town members you can see in the HUD at the top. Each one of those recruits also adds some extra boss weight, which will make them will make all subsequent bosses a little bit more difficult.
So with slide, you can do slide this, which is what VGM was trying to do there. If you slide jump into certain corner tiles, you can zip to the right.
É, falando que
You
se
can only zip to the right in this
você
game.
pular
If you
errado, ele
zip
faz um
right
slide
and it
jump meio
stops
errado,
you,
você pode
you'll
zipar pra
zip up
direita.
So no leftward zip. Oh, there's a nice one. That
That's
one
good zip.
Ele
didn't save
conseguiu.
too much time, but it's just a nice demonstration.
Falou que salvou aí bastante tempo.
So this is the one badge we pick up, the one damaged badge we get, and it's amazing.
Ele falou que
Previously,
acabaram de
the
pegar
one
aí
badge
uma
that Speedruns picked up
signa de
was
dano
attack trade, which gives you 25% more damage.
e que te
in
dá
exchange for, like,
25% a mais de
50%
dano.
more damage or something like that. Oh my god.
See, 2 health, no problem.
Okay.
Tendo um pouquinho de dificuldade pra passar com os slide jumps.
Lucky 7 used to be a pretty useless badge, but in one of the later patches of the game, it was buffed so that on the 77th hit, it will deal 777 damage.
Ele falando que
Which normally isn't like super much.
geralmente
There are a lot of higher
essa
difficulties,
insígnia
but
era meio
casual,
inútil,
like,
mas um patch
that can like
que
instantly
buffou
kill
ela
like a
faz
lot
com
of these
que
earlier bosses,
cada
as you can see
Yeah.
here.
You might not have been able to see it through the little level up pop-ups
sétimo
at the
hit,
bottom,
né?
but that was vanilla right there, that
Desce
cat.
uma quantidade
That we
enorme
just
de
beat up.
dano, então
She had about a third
eles
of her
acabam
health left,
pegando
and then
a
the
badge
trigger
pra
of
isso.
the Lucky 7 badge happened and just gone. And with any luck, we'll be able to see that on every boss coming up. In fact,
Ele
there's
falou
one
que se
coming up
tiver
right
pouquinho
now.
de sorte,
This
você vai
is
ver
the
isso,
second fight
vai
with
ver
the
bastante.
Coach boss, who is really annoying if she gets away.
Essa insígnia dando dano, né?
Yeah, the one other
Sendo
thing
bem
I'll
útil.
mention is right now VGM is exactly at 5%. There isn't a particular name for being at 5% or below, but we like to call it like super
E ele vai ter que repetir aí a luta, né?
whatever. And it's basically the same thing as the 10% threshold, except even more. So just for like, we try to keep
Você vê
under
que ele
5%
repete
until
bastante
this
aí
boss
o reverse
Coach 2.
hit, né? Que ele havia
Because Coach
comentado.
2 is one of the first few bosses that has very long aerial attack patterns. So it's really important to try to beat her before she jumps up into an aerial attack pattern. And
Yep. Boss attack patterns in this game, the attack they're going to use is dictated by whatever health percent they're at. So
Ele tá
the pool
explicando
attacks they can use is,
que
based on how much health
a
they have. Whenever
ordem de ataque
their
dos
AI
bosses ela é
decides,
ditada
okay, this is the attack I'm going to use.
por quanto
and
de
so here's
HP
the
elas
most
têm, né?
forward
Eles
movement,
tiverem.
air dash,
Então, tipo,
Yes.
quanto menor o
This is the big
HP,
one.
mais vai mudando
which VGM is actually not going to use
para
right now
o padrão
because
de
at the
ataque.
start, air dash, when you pick up new items, they're at level 1, so like it's pretty slow and doesn't travel very far. But VGM will head to the shop soon to upgrade it to level 3, and it'll be super fast.
Yeah, we only make one shop visit.
Yeah,
if
in this category, it's just one shop visit.
Yeah, okay.
É, eles
just
fazendo um
making
skip
sure
bem
about that.
maneiro aí, pulando
there are some useful things in the shop, but the
E
first time you
descendo
enter the
até a
shop,
praia, né?
you're given an item, which adds percentage, where we don't.
Aí acabou
we don't
fazendo
get
um
percentage.
zip
There's a
aí, né? Que
pyramid
ele
zip
tem que
right
pular
there.
no
We skip the
cantinho
entire pyramid.
e faz ele
Straight to
direto
the
até
boss.
o boss, né?
Zip is the first like important zip in the game.
É um
That
dos
zip
poucos
saves like a
zips
minute or something
importantes,
like
né?
that of just like
Da run.
traveling through the pyramid.
Oh, you see your health disappear. Oh man.
Yeah, so you can see like VGM made a small mistake and the boss like did a cut in and then
É, ele acabou cometendo, o Run acabou cometendo um pequeno errinho ali que fez com que
hop over regen.
a luta se estendesse um pouco mais.
Yeah, with the cut in, like the boss will get a defense boost and everything. So that's like what casual difficulty is trying to avoid with the right play. And attack ups are the only generic item that we pick up.
É, acabou pegou ele
Any
acabou
health
falando
or
aí que
anything like that.
pegou
We're gonna be
o
ending the
único
run at
item
about,
genérico, né?
just
Que é
a little
um
over
ataque
50
up,
health, which is
que aumenta aí seu
baseline
ataque.
health value.
Yeah.
Ele já tá aí no capítulo
So
3.
now we're gonna fight some nerds. We're gonna utilize a glitch here called. You wanna?
Yeah, you can explain it.
Okay. So the mini boss. There's a mini boss glitch in this game. You'll see it a couple more times. There's a lot of little mini boss encounters where you have to defeat these couple enemies on the screen, and then you know end the encounter.
É, ele falou que tá fazendo
There's a
um pequeno mini glitch, né?
way that the number
Que é
of mini
o
bosses that
mini
have
boss
been
glitch.
defeated is stored in the game value.
Que você precisaria derrotar esses mini bosses
Yeah, it's in the save screen.
Yeah.
para enfrentar
In the
o boss do
game's load
jogo,
menu, whenever
mas
you
ele
scroll
acabou fazendo um
past a
glitch ali
certain
que
value,
explicou basicamente.
it thinks you've defeated that many enemies in a mini boss encounter. So you go to your load menu, you just scroll past like slot 4 or something, and you only have to kill one mini boss, and the game thinks you're done.
É, você praticamente foi para ali pra onde você carrega o jogo, e aí você precisaria derrotar só um inimigo ali, e o jogo pensa e entender que você passou de fase, né? Passou do mini boss.
The air dash, the attack ups, and the bunny amulet, which is upgraded to level 3. Oh, also donuts. I forgot about the donuts, but
you can immediately see how much better air dash is at level 3.
Yeah, it's fast. And then after that, just immediately going back to get air jump right away, which is back in the same area.
Yeah, there was a small. Oh, well, first, here's a much better example of the mini boss glitch. This little event coming up has like 8 enemies I think you have to kill, but with the glitch here, you do it, you shoot this person once, and you're done. See ya.
É, ele repetiu aí o mini boss glitch, né? Que ele só precisou matar mais um inimigo da direita e é isso basicamente. E agora ele pegou o air jump, né? Que o próprio nome diz aí, ele consegue dar um pulinho no ar, né? Então ele consegue navegar, passar pelas seções muito mais rápido. É, ele acabou de passar ele nos lasers que poderiam dar choque nele e não dar muito dano.
If he doesn't get the zip, then he can actually reload because there's an autosave right there, and the autosaves actually keeps your height, and that will cause you to zip instead. And what just happened there is VGM triggered the boss in the wrong room, and when the boss is in the wrong room, the barricades, which normally block you in, like trap you with the boss, don't exist in the wrong room, so you can just leave. And when you leave a room, all the entities in the room despawn, so that's a boss skip.
É, ele acabou fazendo um boss skip ali, que é onde ele acabou colocando o boss em uma sala errada. E com isso ele conseguiu esquipar, né? Como ele estava numa sala errada, ele conseguiu esquipar, evitar a luta e com isso esquipar a fight, basicamente.
I knew it.
This is the perfect time because we're heading to the bounce boss.
All right, hit me with another one.
All right, Bun donates $10 saying Bun. And don't forget to bounce.
Eles pedindo algumas doações pra ler, né? E teve uma doação de 10.
jump up
dólares ali pelo
through a
ban, né?
corridor
Que é
in the ceiling, but missed it. It's not a big deal. It'll save like a few seconds. And so here's Nieve.
uma tradução para coelho, né?
As we like to call her.
E
And
a
she
tradução
is
e o
one of
doador
the
pediu,
most notorious
né,
bosses
pediu de
because
comentário ali, né? Bounce,
she
né? Que é
bounces
basicamente o
around,
que
which is very
o
annoying for combat
Runner
because
tava
it's very hard
fazendo,
to
né?
hit her.
Com movimentação.
And the song that plays when you fight her is also called Bounce Bounce.
Que é o Bounce.
And she's a very
E aí tá mais
RNG
uma
boss
luta
that
aí
bounces
contra
around.
outro
It's
boss,
hard to hit.
né? Você vê que ele locou mais uma
With the
vez
power of
o
Lucky
inimigo
Seven,
com
half of her health
o
gets
reverse
healed,
That
so
hit
you
went
don't have to deal
surprisingly
with it.
well
e evita aí uma bullet hell.
for the notorious boss herself.
So beating Nieve there also lets you it lets you go fight her sister Nixie, but it doesn't actually recruit Nieve
Ele
as a
falando
town
que
member
ter feito
until you
aquela
defeat
luta
Nixie. So you meet
permite
both
que
of them at the same
você
time.
possa enfrentar a
But so
irmã
with that, we can
daquela
actually
boss.
defeat her and then go do other bosses without having 2 extra town members, increasing the
So
the
coming
health
up
of other
here,
bosses.
VGM's gonna attempt to do a very stupid zip, which doesn't even save time, but people were hoping to see it, and no dice, because the zip is
Dang.
very stupid. And you shouldn't go for it, but it doesn't really do much. So there you have it, the dumb zip. So this is a really weird area where you have to like do 2 screen transitions in order to spawn the next upcoming boss.
Ele tá numa parte meio esquisita que ele precisa passar por essas partes para poder chegar até o boss, né?
Oh, one thing VGM is doing, which we haven't mentioned, is like reloading right before a boss fight.
Oh
Which
yeah.
people like probably are confused about, but basically, air dash, among other weapons, items, combat. Every time you do the same attack over and over again, it deals less
Ele
damage.
falando aí que toda vez que você dá o mesmo tipo de dano, o mesmo tipo de ataque toda vez, ele vai causando cada vez menos
And
dano.
so, even movement using that combat option counts as it. So like because all the movement is with air dash has really low damage when you enter a
Ele
boss
falando
fight. But
que
reloading will set the air dash damage all the way back up.
movimentação com esse air dash ele acaba dando menos dano, né, nas lutas de boss.
With the addition of using
Então até
Lucky
isso
Seven,
conta pra run.
getting a lot of rapid hits in is often more preferable to using the bigger damage, the bigger single damage hits of like reverse hammer hits or bunny strike or something like that. Oh, I love the movement in that room. You just go like right through those little zappy guys.
Yeah, so this is the final kind of. Oh, actually, no, it's not. I don't know what I'm saying. This is the final time you fight Kotri 3. Kotri, the 3rd time you fight her. This time she's pink. Before she was green and blue.
A última vez que você enfrenta a Kotri, né, que eles estão falando.
Funny because you're a glass cannon and she's also a glass cannon.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she kills you in like 1 hit, right? 1 or 2 maybe.
She used to kill you in 1 hit back when we had
essa boss ela é meio complicada porque, como eles falaram ali, é boss bem perigoso que podia matar você em hit, mas não mais, né?
Dude, we fought Nieve and now we can fight her sister Nixie. But there's actually a way to skip this boss, and what you do is her trigger to start the boss.
Ele tá tentando esquipar a boss fight, basicamente.
So what BGM's gonna do is gonna jump up, hit the autosave, reload, which stores your height, buffer an air jump out of the autosave, get another air and basically
então, o que ele tá fazendo é que ele tá esquipando a boss fight usando o esquema de autosave. E como o autosave ele grava a posição que você tava no momento, ele aproveita para fazer isso numa posição bem alta. E com isso, basicamente esquipar uma boss fight. Usando esse sistema de autosave e o pulo alto.
But unfortunately, they're randomly placed in town, so you're not actually guaranteed to pass them on your way towards the last town member over here.
There's 2 buffs that VGM wanted, which is Amulet Cut and Give Defense Down, which, as the name implies, gives bosses defense down. Or enemies defense down, rather. It's not
mais uma boss fight aí, né?
This fight, but it'll be required in the upcoming final bosses, which is coming up.
E já tá aí
We didn't
chegando
really talk
na
about
final boss.
the amulet a whole lot. Whenever you see the screen flash and Ariana do her cute little pose there, casually you might see people use the amulet to get like a second of invincibility to dodge an attack or something. But Ariana has a stamina bar that sometimes appears right below her, and that's how many hammer attacks you can kind of do in a row. The amulet will set that stamina bar to a specific percentage, so it becomes a very important attacking tool as well.
Oh man, all the way on the other side of town.
She's all the way over here. What the heck? What's she
Nice.
doing? She's
Yeah,
hanging
so,
out.
Yeah, with the higher level runs, like you can start losing like minutes just from like being unable to like fight bosses.
Unbelievable.
Buffs.
Okay, so a very recently discovered trick. We've seen zipping with slide jumping, but we can actually zip with a technique called bunny strike that we picked up kind of a while ago. This is a really new discovery. And
Eles estão falando que é acabou descobrindo zip
approaching the final
novo.
boss actually right now. So right after some nerds, I think. So if you wanna start explaining this crazy zip.
Yeah, I will say like this area in general is really dangerous. Everything deals a ton of damage.
Eles falam que essa parte é meio perigosa porque dá muito dano, né?
VGM's gonna grab an autosave after this mini boss fight.
Falou que vai pegar um autosave pra essa parte fight.
Basically, there's a whole set of out of bounds areas which you can zip to, and we know this because we can open the game in like map editors and look at all the collision and stuff like that. So here's the first.
Ele falou que tem vários lugares onde você pode dar um bounce, né, e zipar na fase. E é algo que ele tá tentando fazer agora, né, na parede. Você vê que ele tá fazendo o setup e conseguiu. E agora ele tá fazendo um pulo em cima da esfera. Você vê que ele tá tentando setar aí na... Pra poder... Ó, você conseguiu? Ah, ele precisou recuperar toda a vida pra poder executar esse glitch. Você vê por isso que ele acabou usando todos os itens de vida. E agora ele tá fazendo um pause buffer, né? Uma espécie de pause buffer. E não conseguiu de primeira, mas ele vai conseguir de novo. Ele dá esses pequenos hops, né? Ah, agora vamos ver se ele vai conseguir fazer de novo. Ele precisa fazer um skip bem preciso, né? Bem frame perfect. Ah, e conseguiu.
So the final boss sequence is actually like a sequence of 4 different bosses, but with that zip.
Ele falou que a final boss aí é uma sequência de 4 bosses. Ele falou que o jogo é bem suave, né? Ele faz tua vida recuperar de volta cada parte. E aí que estão usando a insígnia do Lucky 7, né? Eu não sei, Lorenzo, não sei se é dos criadores do Orange Juice.
Each hit doing like over 100 damage, which is like a ton of damage. Normally it would only do one hit of like 100 damage.
Ele tá aí locando, né, o boss, você vê que deu bastante dano e tempo. E tempo.
That run was a bit not to my taste, but
a few minor mishaps, but honestly, like no major mistakes, like nice.
Esse foi Rabi-Ribi em 28 minutos e 18 segundos, feito pelo Ivigme. Ele tá aliviado que ele não morreu no Spike Skip, né?
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, Rabi-Ribi is a great game. There's like a ton of content, even just from the community. We have a randomizer, there's bingo, there's custom maps with the map editor, among other categories that are really cool. Like if you want to see more of this game that isn't like super fast, there's the higher difficulty categories, which highlights like how complicated boss fighting can be, and there's like 100% category where you pick up items, and like there's a lot of items that can be picked up with very complicated tech. I'm looking at you, Cyberflower. So definitely check it out if you're interested. It's a fantastic game, even just casually, if you enjoy
Pessoal,
Metroidvanias,
os runners aí recomendando o jogo, né?
cute bunny girls.
Yeah, you
know.
saw less than half of the bosses, and mostly none of their attacks.
Eles falando que vocês viram metade dos bosses e nenhum dos ataques deles direito.
It's true. We also have a dev, Gimayue, who is pretty active with, helping us out and, taking suggestions and running
they're
beta stuff by us.
Which is always great.
That's all from us. How you feeling, VGM?
Feeling all right. Run was pretty scuffed, but all I gotta say is we have a Discord server. You can go onto our speedrun.com page, speedrun.com/Rabi-Ribi, and you can find it there. Come join us. We'll be welcome
Any
to have
shoutouts you want to have last minute?
Not really. Just shoutouts to the entire Rabi community as a whole. I can't really
Eles dando shoutouts aí para toda a comunidade de Rabi-Ribi, né?
Great.
E é isso, esse foi a Rabi-Ribi, né? Feito aí pelo IFGME.